Hey y'all. So Friday, January 24th at 1:24 p.m. in Osceola County Court, this list of depositions was filed. In case you haven't been in our lives, a deposition is a formal recorded statement made under oath by a witness or party in a legal case. Depositions are part of the discovery process in Florida and are conducted outside of court. What happens during a deposition? A legal professional asks questions about the case. The witness or party provides a sworn account of events. A court reporter records the testimony, and attorneys take notes. Why are depositions important? They help each party learn more about the case. They help preserve testimony. They help ensure all parties are aware of all relevant facts before trial. They help identify the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing party's case. Who can be deposed? A plaintiff, a defendant, and a witness. Where do depositions take place? At a deposing attorney's law office and at a neutral space. How long do depositions last? In Florida, a typical deposition lasts a few hours but can last longer in some cases. Basically, what's happening is they're getting all the witnesses together from this case and they're going over their witness statements and preparing them for court. The prosecution and the defense will be able to ask questions. What we are doing and what we've been doing in the lives is reviewing the original witness audio recordings and, in this case, the police narratives. That's what they're going to be going over in the deposition, the original narratives, the original witness statements, and they're going to be asking questions. So we have been going through and figuring out who is giving depositions and going back to their original witness statements and police narratives. This video focuses specifically on the police narratives. We're going to talk about who these people are. So on March 28th at 1:30, they're going to take the deposition of Rene Davila. And then at 2:30, it's going to be Officer Janiak. At 3:30, it's going to be Franky Joseph. At 4, it's going to be Christine Marcus. And then on April 9th at 1:30, Tristan Clark. At 2:30, Julie Junco. At 3:30, Aubrey Dymmek. At 4, Lorene Mingione. And then on April 11th at 1:30, it's going to be Hannah Minor. And then April 11th at 2 p.m., it's going to be Lindsey Miller. These are all officers, save for Mr. Dymmek, who owns the property where Madeline Soto was found. So I'm going to go through my document here that does not like to come up when I am live, and we're going to see what they had to say on their narratives and things like that. First, we have Miss Davila. Her narrative states, on February 28, 2024, at approximately 19:35 hours, I, Deputy First Class Rene Davila, was contacted by Corporal Alexander Richards from the Homicide Unit. Corporal Richards requested assistance with utilizing my canine partner, Canine Archer, to conduct a sweep of 2 vehicles for human remains due to the fact Canine Archer is trained in human remains detection. I then responded to the southern fenced parking lot of the Orange County Sheriff's Office Central Operations, and it gives the address. At 20:05 hours, I conducted a sweep of the first vehicle, which was a 2010 silver Lincoln bearing Florida tag. Canine Archer did not give a final alert to the 2010 silver Lincoln. At 22:10 hours, I then conducted a sweep of a 2022 Nissan sedan, which had a different Florida tag attached. Upon conducting the sweep, Canine Archer showed a change in behavior and then finally gave an alert by the rear passenger wheel well. I informed Corporal Richards of the results. The sweeps were recorded on my agency-issued body-worn camera. Next, we have Janiak. Janiak is a CSI, and she shows up 6 times in this document. This first appearance of her name, it says, room number 4. At approximately 11:30 hours, I assisted with searching a room in the residence on the 2nd floor, identified by a chrome number 4 on the outside of the door. Inside the room, I located a black backpack which had 1 orange bottle of, quote, solo lotion, unquote, in it. The back of the bottle identified the product as, quote, masturbation cream, unquote. I photographed the item, pointed it out to crime scene investigator Janiak, and she collected it. This one says, the space appeared to be the living room of the apartment turned into a bedroom with a folding room divider between the bedroom space and the kitchen dining room. This area was located to the far right of the apartment's first floor when you enter from the front door. The items were located and documented and collected by CSI Janiak. So that's going to be like the clothes and stuff that her and Stefan were wearing when he was abusing her. This one says, I collected photographs of the bones and sent them to the medical examiner. Per Dr. Zidwick, they are non-human. The medical examiner stated the bones still needed to be collected and submitted to them. At approximately 13:02 hours, I contacted Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics and spoke with Janiak, who responded out to collect the bones. I documented this under Orange County Sheriff's Office case number 24012107. That was for bones that were found somewhere when they were looking for Maddie, but they weren't human, obviously. The next time she appears is in this narrative. I'm going to read this bottom part that has her name. It says, at approximately 17:19 hours, forensics manager Vanessa called me and notified me that they located some of Madeline's belongings in the trash, including one single white crock. Janiak recalled seeing a crock in the downstairs bedroom. I re-entered the residence and looked in the downstairs bedroom for the white crock. I located 3 white croc shoes near the window, one pair of women's size 8 and a single left shoe size 5 to 7, which matched the right size of the 5 to 7 located in the trash. I took photographs of the shoes, packaged the shoe, and later turned it over to forensics as well. This one states, on Friday, March 1st, 2024, at noon, I, Detective Davila, facilitated the towing of the Silver Lincoln MKZ bearing Florida tag from the place it was to where they searched it at. I met with Ace Record Driver at the ESST building where they collected the Silver Lincoln, which was secured within a vehicle bay on a flatbed tow truck. I followed the tow truck to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, where the vehicle was turned over to the crime scene investigator, Shea Janiak. This concludes my involvement in this case. And lastly, she marked off this basic search of the Sentra. It's an evidence and property report. She put the evidence that was collected from the car into the property locations they were supposed to go in. And we've been over that. States a white sheet for, oh, this is from the house, excuse me. So she collected evidence from the house and submitted it. Was a white flat bed sheet from closet and bedroom floor, a white flat bed sheet from closet and bedroom 4, a white flat sheet from bed and bedroom 4, a white pillowcase from the bed and bedroom 4, and it just continues on. The masturbation cream, the comforter, black boots, a fitted sheet. That was all from bedroom number 4, except for there was a comforter in bedroom 3 they collected, a gray comforter from Jen's room, white flat sheet from Jen's room, white flat sheet from downstairs room, fitted sheet downstairs bedroom, charcoal gray blanket downstairs bedroom, blanket downstairs bedroom, and so on. Next, we have Franky W. Joseph, who is the Orange County Sheriff's Office Deputy Sheriff. He appears 11 times. Several seem to be on this page that we are looking at. So I'll just read this entire narrative. So it states, on February 26, 2024, at approximately 18:53 hours, the Orange County Sheriff's Office received a call for service reference a missing juvenile. At approximately 19:48 hours, Deputy Franky Joseph responded to the address in reference to a missing 13-year-old juvenile, later identified as Madeline. Deputy Joseph made contact with Madeline's mother, Jennifer, who advised the following in a verbal and sworn written statement. On February 26, 2023, it's supposed to be 2024, at approximately 8 o'clock, Jennifer observed Madeline getting dressed for school. At approximately 8:30, Jen's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, took Madeline to school and dropped her off near the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane. At approximately 1600 hours, Jen went to the school in an attempt to pick Maddie up. However, Maddie never came out of the school. Jen searched the area for Maddie. After not finding her, she went to the address of her mother. Deputy Joseph made contact with Stephen Stearns, who advised the following in a verbal and sworn written statement. On February 26, 2023, at approximately 8:25 to 8:40, Stephen dropped Madeline off approximately 1 block away from her school. Stephen watched Madeline leave his vehicle and walk in the direction of her school. As Stephen was driving away, he saw what appeared to be Madeline searching through her book bag. Stephen did not think anything of it due to Madeline usually looking through her book bag to find headphones so she could put them in before going to school. Stephen then drove to the vape shop. However, it was closed and he drove to his residence. Stephen was home for approximately an hour before he traveled back to the vape shop. After buying vape juice, Stephen returned home and hung out with Jennifer. Stephen then went to run errands and returned home at approximately 14:30 hours. Deputy Joseph then responded to an address with Orange County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit to collect clothing articles belonging to Madeline and headed back to the intersection of Townley Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane, which was the last known location Maddie was seen, and began to track. The track yielded negative results. Madeline was described as 5 feet 1 inches, approximately 110 pounds, with blue eyes, fair skin, and blonde hair. According to Stephen and Jen, Madeline was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, and white Crocs. The information was entered into Madeline was entered into eMersource and later entered into Teletype as a missing endangered juvenile by Glessner. Madeline's BOLO number is, and it gives that. Deputy Joseph contacted the on-call domestic crimes detective. It should be noted personnel assigned to the domestic crime squad conducting missing persons investigation, Detective Francis Hunt, was notified and coordinated the initial patrol response, subsequently advising Deputy Joseph to route the report to missing persons squad. On February 27th, Detective F. Hunt was notified Madeline didn't report to school. At this time, Detective Hunt made contact with Jennifer and Stephen. Please see his supplemental report for further details. On February 27, 2024, Deputy Joseph responded to the address in Florida in efforts to retrieve scent articles that are related to Madeline. With the articles collected, I was able to provide the clothing to the K-9 unit and they complete a track. And then it says his name again. This narrative states, on February 26, 2024, the Orange County Sheriff's Office was made aware of a missing juvenile. The juvenile, Madeline, was reported to have last been seen at the address within Orange County, Florida. Deputy Joseph responded to the address and met with reporters Stephen Michael Stearns, the step-parent, and Jennifer, Madeline's mother, who's also a parent. On February 28th, Detective Rambis was informed of the incident and responded to the address to assist in the investigation, and it goes through that. That's where they went from house to house and asked people if they had seen Madeline. Deputy Joseph from the Orange County Sheriff's Office contacted the on-call domestic crimes detective who investigate missing persons, who advised to send the report to the missing persons squad. This one is a repeat of what we just read. Deputy Joseph from the Orange County Sheriff's Office contacted the on-call domestic crimes detective who investigate missing persons, who advised to send the report to the missing persons squad. Now we are on number 14 of 24. It says, background, on Monday, February 26, 2024, at approximately 19:48 hours, Orange County Sheriff's Office Deputy Joseph responded to the area of, in reference to a call for service regarding a missing person. Deputies identified the missing person as a 13-year-old female whose name is Madeline Soto. Now we are on 15 of 24. So, on this incident report, where Deputy Joseph's name is mentioned, while completing interviews and after reviewing available information using investigative resources, I noted that there were several inconsistencies in the information provided. Jen originally provided to Deputy Joseph that she last saw Madeline on the morning of February 26, 2024, getting ready for school at approximately 8 o'clock. In my interview with her, she stated she last saw Madeline on the night of February 25th at approximately 2300 hours and only possibly heard her the next morning. Stephen stated he returned to the house at 10 o'clock on February 26th and spent time with Jen, who was waking up at that time. Jen provided a different account, stating she was already out of the home by 9:30 and was called by Stephen at 10. Stephen also provided he dropped Madeline off near a residential community by the address of the school. However, a review of cameras in the area did not show Stephen or Madeline in that area at all. Stephen also stated he and Madeline woke up at approximately 7 o'clock and left the house by 7:45. However, one of the roommates stated she did not see them in the morning and she was also awake and leaving the home by 7:45. A review of license plate readers in the area revealed Stephen was not in the area of the House Rules game store in Kissimmee in the hours he provided, but rather he was in the area of St. Cloud, far east of where he described his location to be. Further, Stephen's vehicle was captured driving in the opposite direction of that place during the time he stated he was dropping Madeline off at school. Further details of the exact dates, times, and locations of LPR data are documented in the supplemental reports. Disposition. After completing initial investigative follow up, it was determined suspicious circumstances existed around Madeline's disappearance. The investigation was turned over to the Orange County Sheriff's Office Sex Crime Squad, was notified, and Detective Tangler was assigned as the lead detective. I assisted by completing interviews and providing transport. As further evidence was discovered, it was determined certain crimes occurred at the home in Kissimmee within the jurisdiction of the Kissimmee Police Department. I provided assistance and the investigation was ultimately turned over to KPD. This is him signing an incident report. This is one of his incident reports. It states on February 27th, 2024, I, Detective Joseph, responded to the address in efforts to retrieve scent articles that is related to the disappearance of Madeline Soto. With the articles I collected, I was able to provide the clothing to the K9 unit and they complete a track. This is where he again signed a supplemental. He signed a supplemental. This is his incident report. Deputy Joseph's narrative states, on February 26, 2024, at approximately 1948 hours, I, Deputy Joseph, responded to the address regarding a missing juvenile. While on the scene, the step-parent stated he dropped his daughter off at school, and when the mother went to the school, the daughter was not there. The parents searched within the neighborhood and place where the daughter may have gone. The parents could provide a location where the daughter may have been, but yielded negative results when deputies checked the area. The juvenile was entered into the FCIC, NCIC, and EMER source as missing and disabled. My investigation revealed the following. When I arrived on scene, I spoke with the mother, Jennifer, who gave me a verbal, written, sworn testimony. On February 26, 2024, at approximately 8 o'clock hours, Jen observed missing juvenile Madeline getting dressed for school. Stepfather Stephen Stearns took Madeline to school, dropping her off near the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane at approximately 8:30. Jen went to the address in an attempt to pick up Madeline at approximately 1600 hours. When she discovered Madeline did not make it to school, in an effort to find Madeline, Jen looked through the neighborhood near Madeline's school and went to her mother's business office located at. I later spoke with Stephen Stearns, who stated in a verbal and sworn written statement the following. At approximately 8:25 to 8:40, Stephen dropped Madeline off approximately 1 block away from her school. Stephen watched Madeline leave his vehicle and walk toward the direction of the school. As Stephen was driving away, he could see what appeared to be Madeline searching through her book bag. He did not think anything of it due to Madeline usually looking through her book bag to find headphones so she could put them in before going to school. Stephen began heading home when he attempted to stop for vape juice at a nearby vape shop but determined it was closed. So Stephen went home to Kissimmee. Once Stephen was home for about an hour, he went back out to retrieve vape juice and then run errands. Stephen stated he returned home and stayed home at approximately 14:30 hours. While on the scene, I had Deputy Diaz go to the grandmother's home due to the close proximity of both the school and the grandmother's business that Madeline would frequently visit. Deputy Mooney was able to establish an attempt to contact somebody to see if Madeline made her way back to her mother's home. Both addresses yielded negative results. Jennifer was able to provide me with the phone number of Madeline's best friend. I then requested Stephen to take me to the location where he dropped Madeline off in an effort to canvass the area and recover any evidence. As I canvassed the area on foot, I was able to locate a camera in front of Unit 106 in the Urbana apartment complex and active cameras at Peace Church property. Deputy Rodriguez was able to make contact with a worker from the Peace United Church who was able to allow me to view a playback footage from February 26, 2024. With my body-worn camera activated, I was able to see what happened to be a juvenile enter the property from Town Loop Boulevard at approximately 8:40 and sit down on the ground in the parking lot and get up and leave the property towards Town Loop Boulevard at approximately 8:58. After reviewing the video, I made contact with Jen and Stephen one last time for the night in an effort to get an article of clothing that had a large scent on it. The K9 unit met me at the address to verify the clothing had not been contaminated. Once the clothing was verified, the K9 unit and I went back to the last known location Madeline was seen at and began to track. The track yielded negative results. It should be noted that Jen stated that Madeline is diagnosed with autism and ADHD and takes Adderall. Madeline is 5'1", approximately 110 pounds, with blue eyes, white skin, and blonde hair. Madeline was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, and white Crocs. Madeline was entered into eMERSource. Madeline was entered into Teletype as a missing juvenile by Detective Glassner. Madeline's BOLO number is. Hunt was notified of the situation, which concluded with this report being routed to missing persons for further investigation. My body-worn camera was activated during my investigation. This is where he signed. Again, he signed. And again, he signed. So that's going to be Detective Joseph. Now we are at Christine Marcus from Forensics. Marcus appears one time in here. And it says, next, I concluded my canvass along Old Hickory Tree Road, located a black car tire on the vacant field associated with the Dymmek US, located at the address in Kissimmee in St. Cloud, Florida. I contacted Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics, and investigator C. Marcus responded and collected the tire. It was later learned the vehicle tire was irrelevant to this investigation. And that's the only time that Marcus appears in here. Now we're going to look up Clark. So Clark appears 5 times in this document. This is the first, and it's going to be their narrative. It states, on February 26th at approximately 23:55 hours, I, Officer Clark, responded to the address in reference to an attempt to locate in reference to a missing juvenile. Orange County Sheriff's Office are working. Prior to arrival, I was advised the Orange County Sheriff's Office is working on a missing juvenile whose primary residence is the aforementioned address. I was advised by Lieutenant Orts to return to the aforementioned address and make contact with the family again and advise if Madeline had returned home. Upon arrival, I spoke with Jen Soto, Madeline's mother, and Stephen Stearns, Jennifer's boyfriend, who both provided me with a verbal statement summarized as follows. On the morning of February 27, 2024, Stephen took Madeline to school in his 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ. Stephen dropped Madeline off a block away from school due to her not wanting to be seen in an old Lincoln. They stated that Madeline forgot her phone at home and that Madeline has ADHD and is usually forgetful. They stated that Madeline did not take any personal items or leave any notes hinting to her running away. They stated they have not had any recent arguments. Jennifer and I looked through Madeline's cell phone, including her recently deleted text messages, which did not contain anything suspicious or hinting to her wanting to run away. There was a text message Madeline sent to her friend stating when she turns 18 years old, she wants to live in the woods. Jennifer and Stephen allowed me to search the residence with negative results for Madeline. Stephen took me to each family member's vehicles outside of the residence with the negative results for Madeline inside any vehicles. I observed a handgun in the rear back pocket of the driver's seat in the Lincoln MKZ, which Stephen stated he usually leaves it in the vehicle. Stephen also advised me not to pay attention to the donut tire on his vehicle due to him recently catching a flat tire earlier that day. Jennifer provided me with her sister's address, which is within walking distance from an address, I'm assuming Jen's house. I responded to the address and spoke with Jen's sister, who stated she had not seen Madeline since her birthday party on February 26, 2024. She allowed me to search her residence with negative results for Madeline. She allowed me to look in her vehicle as well as inside of a utility van belonging to Madeline's grandfather. The utility van has been turned into an RV, which also had negative results for Madeline. On February 27th at approximately 23:01 hours, I responded back out to their address to meet with multiple detectives and their supervisors from Orange County Sheriff's Office while they interviewed Madeline's family again. Officer Owens and I stood by the aforementioned address until properly relieved. This report is also related to KPD case number. This report will be forwarded to the Records Division. A portion of this incident was captured on my department-issued body-worn camera. The body-worn camera and its footage is maintained by the Kissimmee Police Department. The next mention of his name is where he signed off on it. Here is another narrative. A lot of times they'll have repeats, so I do believe this is just a repeat of what we just saw, and it is. The next mention is going to be where he signed it, and the last one is going to be, I believe, where he signed his investigative or incident report. Next is going to be Julie Junco. The first mention of Junco is in this narrative, and it states, after Stephen's interview, the Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics Unit responded to the interview room 1 in the Central Operations Central in reference to a DNA search warrant for Stephen. During this warrant, CSI took several pictures of Stephen's body and member and collected all of his clothing. Detective Junco and I located a black mark on Stephen's member, which was consistent with the member pictures from his cell phone. Pictures of Stephen's scar on his right wrist were also taken. Second mention of Junco states, on February 28th at approximately 7:38, I, Detective Junco, responded to the address in reference to assist Detective Tangler with a search warrant for the residence. The above residence was located with the, and it blocks that out. Below is a synopsis of my involvement in this case. And she states, scene security. When I arrived on scene, Orange County Sheriff's Office Corporal Kenneth Dell and detectives from Kissimmee Police Department were securing the scene. I assisted with maintaining scene security until the Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics Unit responded to process the residence. Prior to conducting the search, detectives at the site of the search were notified by detectives at Orange County Sheriff's Office Central Operations Building that there was evidence of sexual abuse towards Madeline, 13-year-old victim, at the hands of her stepfather, Stephen Stearns, 37-year-old suspect. The evidence was located on Stearns' cellular device. Some of the sexual abuse appeared to have occurred at the address. Contact with victim's aunt at approximately 9:54. Somebody approached detectives on scene. I spoke with them, and a portion of our conversation was audio recorded by Detective Matthew Chang. Below is a synopsis of the conversation. So this is going to be where the sister and grandpa spoke outside of the office. So sister and Juan requested an update and said detectives had already interviewed them. They did not have additional information to provide that was not already known. The sister and Juan were visibly emotional and appeared concerned for Madeline's well-being. They said she did not believe Madeline would run away because she did not believe Madeline would do that. They described Madeline's recent birthday celebration and did not know of any reason why Madeline would be upset. To their knowledge, Madeline had not been in communication with any of their family members since she had been reported missing. Execution of search warrant. At approximately 11:30, I assisted with searching a room in the residence on the second floor identified by chrome number 4 on the outside of the door. Inside the room, I located a black backpack which had one orange bottle of, quote, solo lotion in it. The bottle identified the product as, quote, masturbation cream. I photographed the item and pointed it out to crime scene investigator Janiak, and she collected it. At approximately 11:50, Detective Sorrell, Detective Chang, and I made contact with Detective Tangler and Detective Cole via the phone. Via video call, they showed us digital photographs of presumably Stephen Stearns abusing Madeline. The purpose of viewing the child's sexual abuse material, or CSAM, via video phone call was to ensure the correct evidence was collected and preserved to the best of our abilities. We examined the clothing worn by both Madeline and Stephen, along with surrounding items such as sheets, blankets, and other articles of clothing. We were able to identify some of the items seen in the photographs in a downstairs area that was previously described by detectives as Madeline's room. The space appeared to be the living room of the apartment turned into a bedroom with a folding divider between the bedroom space and the kitchen dining room. The area was located to the far right of the apartment's first floor when you enter from the front door. Items we located were documented and collected by CSI Janiak. Contact with Ray Orts, Operations Manager for Security. At the conclusion of the search, I made contact with Corporal Avelia via the phone. Corporal Avelia notified me that the front office staff of the complex had been working on providing video surveillance from the complex. An unknown staff member stated the process to provide the video was going to take approximately 6 hours due to how it had to be viewed and downloaded from the system. At approximately 13:45 hours, I made contact with the person who identified himself as the Operation Manager for Security. I provided this person with my direct agency phone number and requested he notify me immediately when the video surveillance was ready to be collected. That person provided their phone number as well. I did not hear back from that person, but found out later he had been in communication with other Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives. This is going to be at Central Operations, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Central Operations. After speaking with somebody, I went to Orange County Sheriff's Office, Central Operations building. While there, I maintained security outside of an interview room where Stearns was located and was waiting to be interviewed. Kissimmee Police Department detectives interviewed Stearns, and I monitored a portion of the interview electronically from a room nearby. At the conclusion of the interview, I assisted Kissimmee police detectives with the collection of photographs, clothing, and DNA evidence from Stearns' person based on a search warrant that I had. I located a black freckle or mark on Stearns' member that was visible in some of the photographs and videos found while examining the photographs and videos of Stearns sexually abusing Madeline. In the photograph used to compare the mark, presumably Stephen is wearing a red and white Deadpool shirt, which was seen in multiple photographs where Madeline was being sexually abused. Orange County Sheriff's Office CSI Smith collected the evidence. This collection was conducted on the same audio and video recording as Stearns' interview. At some point while Stearns was in the interview room, I took a vape pen from him, which I discarded in the trash at KBD's discretion. Evidence examination. At one point, while examining the photographs of Madeline being sexually abused to ensure all potential evidence was collected, I located a photograph of Stearns with his face visible and his tongue, presumably on Madeline's nipple. The photograph was titled and was found in an album full of photographs of child sexual abuse material of Madeline. Waste management information. On February 29th, Corporal Avelia requested I gather information on the trash collection procedures at the complex Stearns and Jennifer lived at. At approximately 10 o'clock, I made contact with Waste Management by calling the number. I spoke with Cree, who was unable to access the information for the requested address. Cree transferred me to Ray, referred to as such, from the Florida Area Waste Management Commercial Department. He said Waste Management collected the compactors from the address. The trash would be taken to Orlando Transfer Station, serviced by Waste Management Orlando. It is unknown how long the trash would remain before it would be transferred to either Pine Ridge Landfill or the Vista Landfill. Waste Management was the residential hauler for Osceola County, meaning they picked up any trash from individual residences. They also hauled for any commercial property within the city limits of Kissimmee, Florida. She had a lot to do with this case, so it goes on. Ray said he was the only Ray in Florida Waste Management Commercial Department, but he could not provide a phone number to directly connect me to him again. He provided a more direct number for the commercial department. Emergency Response Team Command Post. On March 1st, 2024, at approximately 9:22, Corporal Avelia asked me to respond to the address in reference to meeting with Orange County Sheriff's Office Emergency Response Team. While there, I was the liaison between the Emergency Response Team and the Criminal Investigations Division. At approximately 12:40, I was notified the Emergency Response Team located large bones in the wooded area. I notified Corporal Avelia, who was with Corporal Richards from Orange County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. Corporal Richards instructed me to contact the medical examiner's office to show them the bones in order to determine if they were human. I collected photographs of the bones and sent them to the medical examiner's office. They said they are non-human. The medical examiner stated the bones still needed to be collected and submitted to them. At approximately 13:02, I contacted Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics and spoke with CPI Janiak, who responded out to collect the bones. I documented this under Orange County Sheriff's Office case number. ERT units located a camera at 2405 Commerce Park Drive. I sent this information to Corporal Avelia and requested he have a unit respond to check the cameras. Orange County Sheriff's Office Violent Crime Squad located video footage of Stern's vehicle at the above address and were then able to trace him to other nearby locations, where I was told Stearns was seen moving Madeline from the front seat of his vehicle to the trunk. Emergency response located a pair of underwear and a dress in the same wooded area that the bones were located in, but further south. CSI Janiak collected both items. On March 1st, Orange County Sheriff's Office received confirmation Madeline had been located deceased in Osceola County. This concluded my involvement with this investigation. And the last time she is mentioned is right here where she signs off. Now we are at Dymmek. He is the landowner where Madeline's body was found. This is basically a statement saying that he made contact with deputies who were conducting an investigation, and I gave them permission to go on my property to do their job. This is him giving them permission to go on his property to do their job. Basically, the only time he is mentioned is when they're talking about locating Madeline's body and what they did in the area in reference to collecting Madeline's body from his property. This is the only time it shows up in the document because it's looking for, I guess, the typed word, but I just showed you where he gave them permission to search his property. And this one states, upon arrival, I provided scene security due to an ongoing investigation. I completed a crime scene log for all persons entering the scene. Contact was then made with Hardy Dymmek, landowner and witness, who provided a sworn written statement and completed a consent to search affidavit. Both documents were submitted for processing. This concluded my involvement in the above incident. Now we have Lindsey Miller. Her name appears once. It says towing a vehicle. At 8:30 p.m., I responded to the Town Place Suites at Flamingo Crossings, located at the address in Florida, in reference to towing a 2022 Nissan four-door sedan bearing Florida tag number. I located the vehicle in the parking lot and towed it to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I followed the vehicle and it was being towed and relinquished to the custody of Orange County Sheriff's Office forensics investigator L. Miller. And she went through and basically did the search of Jen's car, pulling any evidence, all of the things, the swabs, all of the stuff she got out of her car. The picture you see where the passenger side glove box is open and you see the bottle of medicine. Basically, that's her doing that. Okay, for Miss Hannah Minor, she's got an evidence report, and it just, is basically, it says set of swabs from driver front door compartment, set of swabs from passenger door compartment, set of swabs from rear door compartment, set of swabs from rear passenger door compartment. It's just, where she goes through and swabs the car and gets all of the things out and says, notes all the items. This is the blue latex gloves. So she did Stefan's car. Okay, and as far as Lorene Mingione, she has got one document here, and it is in the second report. Captain Lorene Mingione writes, on March 1st, 2024, our agency emergency response team was utilized to assist in searching for the missing juvenile, Madeline. I responded to American Classic Charter School located at, which was used as the emergency response team staging area to assist as needed. Donna Sita, intelligence supervisor, was also on scene. A witness arrived at the location and provided Miss Sita with information about observing the suspect in this case on Hickory Tree Road, changing a tire. Upon receipt of this information, Sergeant Swan and I proceeded to this area. As we approached the area, I observed a gate on the right side of the roadway, which had an area of gravel/dirt in front of it. Behind the fence was a Connex box in the field area. Sergeant Swan parked her assigned vehicle in this location. I observed a gate on the left side of the roadway with an area of grass in front of it. On the left side, behind the fenced area, were the hay bales to the right as you enter the property, and bamboo trees on both the right and left sides. The time was approximately 16:30 hours, and the day was sunny and clear. Sergeant Swan advised she knew the property owner for both sides of the area as previously described and contacted him via cell phone. Hardy Dymmek responded to the location within minutes. with an unknown male. Mr. Dymmek gave verbal consent for us to enter his properties. The unknown male, known to Mr. Dymmek, unlocked the gates on both sides of the roadway. Mr. Dymmek explained how to ensure the gates were locked upon our exit and requested us to ensure they were secured when we were finished checking the property. Sergeant Swan and I entered the open gate on the left-hand side of the roadway and proceeded to walk to the right, where the hay bales were located. There were 2 rows of hay bales. We walked along the hay bales to the left, checking for any items of evidentiary nature. I returned to where they began. Sergeant Swan walked to the right of the hay bales, and I proceeded to walk towards the line of bamboo trees located on the left-hand side as you enter the gate, opposite the location of the hay bales. As I approached the tree line, I observed something blue among the greenery on the ground. As I approached closer to the area of something blue, I could see the outline of what looked like blue jeans and the stitching on the back pockets of the blue jeans. As I approached closer, I could see what appeared to be the outline of a small body covered in blue jeans and a greenish top like a sweatshirt with a hood. I called to Sergeant Swan to come over to my location to confirm my findings. The body was laying on the left side and was somewhat drawn in like a fetal position. There was either hay or dried grass over parts of the body. It was apparent it was a human body based on my training and expertise. As I approached closer, it was obvious there were no signs of life as insect activity was present. I did not observe any odor. I took 4 photographs from this angle to document the crime scene as it was found. The first photograph depicts the area I was walking and observed the blue. The second, third, and fourth photographs are taken from the area I recognized the blue jeans and the greenish top. I made notification to Major Henderman, who requested I forward him the photos taken. 3 of the 4 photos were forwarded to him as requested, as he was present with members of the SCPD and KPD. He asked if there was a green sweatshirt on the body. I confirmed there was. Sergeant Swan and I exited the immediate area, and I walked to the opposite side of the bamboo tree line, which was the roadside, to take 2 additional photographs from the opposite angle. From this angle, some blue is visible, but it is unclear what the blue is. I walked out the gate with Sergeant Swan and obtained crime scene tape to secure the scene. Multiple deputies responded to the area to assist. Upon the arrival of Sheriff Lopez, he requested to be taken to the location where I located the body, which I did. I began the crime scene log after Sergeant Swan and I signed it. I requested Sheriff Lopez to sign it as well. The crime scene log was then handed over to Deputy Sweeney. Our agency forensics unit and detectives arrived along with members of the KPD. The investigation was turned over to them. The photographs were downloaded into digital on cue. This concludes my involvement in this case. So that is all of the witness statements that are going to be reviewed in the depositions that they are taking, and these appeared to be in March and April. I do appreciate you watching this video, especially all the way to the end. You are amazing. I cannot thank you enough for your support. It means so much to me. I mean, really, it does. Like, I wish I could express to you how much it means to me. If you have not already, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I do stay on top of this case, and I will be providing updates all the way through the end of the trial. So make sure you are subscribed so you can get those updates. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.